Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Sister Wives world has been turned upside down once again, but this time it's not because of another marriage breakdown or shocking family revelation on camera. It's because of a legal bombshell that has just rocked the Brown family to its core, as a judge has officially ordered Kody Brown to pay back an eye-watering $1.2 million after Janelle Brown's explosive court victory. A ruling that has not only stunned fans across the nation but has also put the polygamist patriarch in one of the most vulnerable financial situations of his entire life, because for years viewers of TLC's long-running series have watched Kody insist that he is the one in charge, the one who makes all the financial decisions, the one who handles Coyote Pass land deals, the one who treats money as a central element of control within his plural marriage dynamic. But the tables have now turned in such a dramatic way that many are calling this ruling karmic justice, a form of payback for the years Janelle has openly expressed her frustration about money being mishandled, particularly her accusations that she poured everything into the family pot only to be left with nothing when she finally walked away, a story arc that played out painfully across the later seasons of Sister Wives, as she tearfully explained that while Kody flaunted lavish spending on cars, jewelry, and elaborate gifts for Robin, she was left scrambling to figure out how to build even a modest home on her own property. So when news broke that Janelle had taken her grievances into the legal system, many fans initially assumed it would amount to nothing more than a symbolic gesture, but the courtroom proceedings tell a very different story, one that reveals just how much money was allegedly mishandled behind the scenes, with lawyers digging deep into financial records that reportedly exposed questionable transfers, shady loan agreements, and property redistribution that heavily favored Kody and Robin while leaving Janelle, Christine, and even Mary essentially cut out of the picture. And according to insiders who were present in court, Janelle stood her ground with a quiet but unshakable strength, presenting evidence after evidence that showed she had not only contributed financially but also acted as the backbone of the family's survival during lean years, working non-stop jobs, budgeting every penny, and even sacrificing her own dreams so that Kody could continue expanding his household, which makes the judge's ruling all the more explosive, because not only did the court find in her favor, but the $1.2 million restitution order suggests that the level of financial mismanagement was far more severe than fans ever knew, essentially confirming Janelle's long-standing claim that she left the marriage with nothing, and now social media is ablaze with commentary. Some fans cheering Janelle as a true warrior who finally got the justice she deserved, while others speculate about how Kody will possibly come up with that much money given the rumors that Sister Wives could be nearing the end of its run and that his public reputation has taken a severe hit, leaving fewer opportunities for him to profit off his name. But what truly shocked everyone in court, according to whispers from reporters, was not just the dollar amount but the way the judge allegedly reprimanded Kody directly, slamming him for acting irresponsibly with family finances, allegedly telling him point-blank that his role as a husband and father required fiduciary responsibility that he completely neglected in favor of favoritism and reckless spending, a moment that left the courtroom in stunned silence before murmurs erupted among those present. And that reprimand is already being quoted across fan pages and media headlines as the ultimate comeuppance for a man who once strutted on camera with the confidence of someone untouchable. So now the question becomes, what happens next for both Janelle and Kody? Because while Janelle can now breathe a sigh of relief knowing her years of sacrifice have finally been recognized in a legal setting, she must also contend with whether or not Kody will actually be able to pay her back, as many legal experts are noting that while the judgment is clear, collection could be a long and painful process, potentially leading to the liquidation of assets, forced sales of property at Coyote Pass, or even wage garnishment if Sister Wives continues filming. And all of this raises deeper questions about how Robin will react, since much of Kody's money is allegedly tied up in property under her name, which could now be subject to scrutiny or even clawbacks depending on how the court decides to enforce payment, meaning that the one wife Kody sacrificed so much to prioritize may now find herself dragged into the middle of the financial disaster he created. A twist of fate that feels ripped straight out of a soap opera, but is unfolding in real life for the Brown family. And fans are eating it up, with thousands of comments flooding Reddit, Facebook, and TikTok declaring this the ultimate victory not just for Janelle but for every woman who felt sidelined in Kody's world, some even dubbing it the divorce settlement of the century. While others are already speculating whether this ruling could embolden Christine or even Mary to pursue similar legal actions if they can prove financial damages of their own, effectively turning what began as a family reality show into a series of courtroom dramas that could stretch on for years. And for Kody himself, the blow to his ego may be just as painful as the blow to his wallet, because sources close to the family claim that he stormed out of the courthouse visibly fuming, refusing to answer reporters' questions, while Janelle left quietly with a small but noticeable smile. A picture of dignity that has since gone viral as the unofficial image of her triumph, and as Sister Wives fans know, perception is everything in this saga. So Janelle's newfound role as the victor of $1 million court battle cements her legacy as not just a survivor of polygamy, but as a woman who took on the patriarch and won, a storyline so shocking and dramatic that TLC executives must be scrambling behind the scenes trying to figure out how to spin this into ratings gold if the show continues. Though the irony of Kody's downfall being tied directly to money, the very thing he always claimed to control, has not been lost on viewers who now see his empire crumbling piece by piece, and in the end, whether or not Kody manages to scrape together the $1.2 million, the ruling has already achieved something monumental. It has shifted the narrative power from Kody to Janelle, proving once and for all that the women he underestimated are the true forces driving the Sister Wives story. And as fans continue to dissect every detail of the judgment, one thing is certain. This is not just another headline, it's a turning point in the Brown family saga, one that could redefine the future of the show, the family, and Kody himself, because while he once believed his control was unshakable, a judge's gavel has reminded him that accountability always comes due, and this time the bill is for $1.2 million, payable directly to the woman who refused to stay silent any longer. The fallout from this courtroom bombshell is spreading like wildfire, and as the dust settles, the layers of this ruling are being peeled back to reveal just how far-reaching the consequences may be, because while many fans are understandably focused on the headline-grabbing $1.2 million figure, those who have been following the Sister Wives saga for years know that this isn't just about a dollar amount. It's about decades of financial inequality, unbalanced power, and broken promises that have finally come back to haunt Kody, who once strutted through TLC episodes bragging about his ability to manage multiple wives, children, properties, and obligations, yet is now exposed as a man who couldn't even keep track of the most basic financial ethics, and it all boils down to the very thing that Janelle herself used to say repeatedly on the show. Money has always been the biggest stress in our plural family. A confession that felt like just another talking head moment on television back then, but now reads like chilling foreshadowing of the financial reckoning that has exploded in the courtroom, because insiders claim that during the trial, Janelle's legal team meticulously walked the judge through years of receipts, pay stubs, and transactions, painting a picture of a woman who carried the financial load, while Kody made flashy decisions with little thought for the long-term consequences. And when the judge finally delivered the ruling, witnesses say the language was harsh but fair, as Kody was allegedly told that his actions showed reckless disregard for the contributions and sacrifices made by his wives, particularly Janelle, whose efforts essentially sustained the family during some of its toughest years, and to hear that from a judge rather than just another ex-wife must have been a brutal blow to Kody's pride, because if there's one thing viewers know about him, it's that he thrives on control, dominance, and the appearance of authority. But this court ruling tore through that facade like a wrecking ball, leaving behind a patriarch stripped of his financial crown, and fans are reveling in the irony, with thousands of comments flooding social media mocking his once infamous lines about wives needing to pull their weight, and reminding everyone that Janelle was the one who worked tirelessly while Robyn reaped the benefits. And speaking of Robyn, the ripple effect on her position is one of the most fascinating subplots in all of this, because court Documents allegedly referenced assets held jointly between her and Kody, which means that even though she was not directly on trial, her financial ties to him may now be under legal scrutiny, and fans are already speculating that her tears, which became a staple on the show, will be flowing like never before once the reality of losing property, jewelry, or even her lavish home becomes clear. Because if the court enforces collections aggressively, everything the couple has may be fair game, and that means Robyn could soon be experiencing firsthand what Janelle, Christine, and Mary felt for years. Losing the security they thought they had because of Kody's decisions, a twist that fans see as poetic justice, and while Robyn may cry, Janelle's quiet victory has sparked a wave of empowerment not only for her but also for Christine, who many believe is closely watching the case to see if she too has grounds to demand restitution, because let's not forget that Christine also claimed she was left with essentially nothing when she finally packed up and left, despite pouring years of energy and resources into the family business, raising children, and supporting Kody's dreams. So if Janelle's victory sets a precedent, this could open the door to multiple lawsuits that could dismantle Kody's entire financial empire piece by piece, and perhaps that's why his reaction in court was reportedly so explosive, with whispers that he muttered angrily under his breath about betrayal, family disloyalty, and how Janelle was being used by lawyers to attack him. But those comments only further fueled the narrative that Kody refuses to accept responsibility, preferring instead to play the victim, a stance that fans no longer sympathize with because they've seen the years of favoritism, gaslighting, and manipulation on screen, which makes this courtroom humiliation feel like the inevitable climax of a story arc that's been building since season 1, and the timing couldn't be worse for him, because rumors continue to swirl about Sister Wives being at risk of cancellation, and if that paycheck disappears while he's saddled with a $1.2 million debt, the reality of his downfall could be swift and severe, potentially forcing bankruptcy filings, asset seizures, and more public embarrassments that will only add fuel to the fire, while Janelle, in contrast, is being celebrated as a queen who finally got her crown, with memes circulating online depicting her walking away from court with a superhero cape, captions declaring her the real head of the Brown family, and countless fans leaving comments like, "She deserves every penny. This is karma," and finally, "Justice for Janelle." And this groundswell of public support could very well launch Janelle into an even bigger platform beyond Sister Wives, as she's already been building her brand through wellness programs and motivational posts. But now she carries the added power of being the woman who defeated Kody in court, a story that could easily translate into best-selling books, speaking tours, and perhaps even a spin-off show dedicated entirely to her journey from polygamist wife to independent powerhouse, a transformation that fans have been rooting for all along. And as all of this plays out, what becomes painfully clear is that the cracks in the Brown family aren't just emotional or relational, they're financial, structural, and systemic. And this ruling didn't just slam Kody with a bill, it slammed shut the door on his illusion of control, because while he once stood at the center of his plural marriage universe, wielding money as a weapon to dictate loyalty, the gavel has fallen, and the message is loud and clear. He no longer holds the purse strings, and perhaps never truly did, because women like Janelle were the ones making the sacrifices, working the jobs, and keeping the family afloat. And now that truth is carved into a legal document that will follow him forever, a scarlet letter of sorts that brands him as the husband who failed not just in love, not just in family, but in the very duty of financial stewardship. And if the whispers are true that TLC cameras were rolling outside the courthouse, viewers may soon witness this historic moment on screen, turning Sister Wives from a reality show into a legal drama the likes of which reality TV has never seen. And if that happens, Kody may find himself both humiliated and indebted, while Janelle walks into her next chapter with vindication, justice, and perhaps most importantly, a $1.2 million symbol of the strength she has always carried, proving that sometimes the quietest wife ends up making the loudest statement of all.